Hello, everyone. If everybody could begin to take their seats if they can find one. That includes Brad. Okay, well, welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Andy Marchant. I am the director of the New Venture Challenge this year. We do have a very busy night ahead of us, so my goal is to run a tight ship so that everyone will have a chance to pitch, and then most importantly, everyone will have a chance to connect afterwards at the reception. So let's jump right in. First, a quick roadmap for the night. After a few announcements, I will introduce Nancy Stevens, who will kick the night off for us. Next, we will have Brian Kinnear speak briefly about sharing your idea, but also protecting your idea at the same time. Then we'll jump straight into the pitches. Halfway through the pitches, we'll have a quick minute to highlight the mentors who are in the room, and then we're going to keep moving into the pitches. After all of the pitches have been completed, we'll have a few closing remarks, and then we'll get the feedback masters up here to give out the 3 prizes we have for tonight, and I'll discuss those prizes a little bit later. Before we do go any further, I would like to open the floor up to any community announcements.
My name is Michael Carr. I'm with the CU Tech Transfer Office, and I want to make an announcement about a fellows program that we're going to be starting up here in the spring term, I think is when we're looking to do it. We don't have the full timing out yet, but look for announcements coming in the next couple of weeks. It's for MBA students, law students, and PhD students.
Hey, Beth.
Hi, I'm Mary Beth Belligan. I'm also with the Tech Transfer Office, and I'm pitching tonight for Molly Markley. She is our fearless R&D track lead for NBC 8, and she is looking for a right-hand man or woman who can help her with all of the organizational challenges and successes that will come with organizing the R&D track. If you are interested in learning more, you can find me, Mary Beth, sometime during tonight.
Thank you. Brad.
Fred Bernthal. We've got a group that helps bring the NVC together. We call ourselves the co-conspirators. It's really a cross-campus group. Just a quick piece of information. How many undergrads here tonight? Okay. So at the last co-conspirators meeting, something we talked about in connection with the NVC is the importance that this be a platform that's welcoming for people at the undergraduate level, especially if you're first-time entrepreneurs. 2 things. First of all, 2 years ago, an undergrad team, now called PANA, won this competition. They were out of computer science. They just closed on $1.3 million and have a real chance to go forward. So just know it's been done before. Second is Andy will elaborate on this a little bit. The co-conspirators collectively desire we're going to have at least 3 prizes that, separate from the big prize, will target undergrads as well. This needs to be a platform that if you're a professor, faculty, staff, graduate, or undergraduate student, not that necessarily hierarchy, but no matter where you are fitting in, this is a home, and so feel free to follow up with Andy, myself, or any other co-conspirators around here if you got questions.
Thank you. Any other community announcements? Okay, fantastic. So to help us kick off the night, we have Nancy Stevens joining us to discuss the importance of supporting the NVC as well as the value of tonight in general. Nancy is the chairman of First Western Trust here in Boulder. Her experience spans many areas of financial management and planning, with clients ranging from individuals to nonprofits, entrepreneurs to large corporations. She has been a strong supporter and friend of the NVC, and she's also a valued board member for organizations in the community, including the Silicon Flatiron Center here at the school, Boulder Community Hospital, and Philanthropies, among others. Please help me welcome Nancy Stevens.
Thank you, Andy. Once upon a time, I was a newly minted corporate banker at an old line big bank. And my first day on the job, they said, "You're the youngest member on the team, the newest. Your job is to answer the joke phone." I said, "Joke phone?" And they said, "If anybody calls in and they don't have a referral and they don't have connections and they say something like, 'I have a great idea and I want a loan,' the receptionist immediately routes it to the joke phone." So my job, answering the joke phone, was to listen patiently and just say no. And in the history of that well-known big bank, no loan that came through the joke phone was ever made. So that's kind of my long-term background. But I think being a banker is probably the second oldest profession in the world. It's, if you do things the way you've always done things, which is kind of what we did, innovation is not in your vocabulary. It's just not a word we really relate to, or I should relate it to. And we all know these stories. You know, the buggy makers didn't invent the first car. The typewriter makers didn't invent the first word processor. And, you know, where would the electric car be if it weren't for Elon Musk? Probably not very far along. So the ideas that change the world don't come from old line institutions. I tried to think of one and I couldn't think of one. They come from you. And Matt Gore, the president of the bank, and I said, we're both lifetime bankers, we said, we want to invest in ideas. And we decided the New Venture Challenge was a perfect fit for First Western Trust. Now, we still won't loan you any money, but, well, so I'm retiring at the end of this year. It's been a great gig, but there are other things I want to do. And yesterday I was having a lunch with a friend and a client of the bank, and she's about 40 years younger. She manages hedge funds and private equities for some wealthy families in town. And she, you know, she did her time at Goldman. She went to Harvard, Oxford, so great credentials. She said, you know, this is a great town, but I get these offers. What should I do? She said, do you have any regrets? You know, you're kind of at the end of your career. And I said, yeah, I wasn't brave enough. And I wasn't willing to take enough risk. And in the context of tonight, I wasn't willing to get up to this microphone and say, I have a great idea, fund me. So my advice to you is get up here. Get behind this mic and pitch.
Thank you very much, Nancy. Certainly true words for everybody. And again, it's never too late to jump into the NVC. Even if you are not able to pitch tonight, we certainly have room for you moving forward. So next, I'd like to introduce Brian Kinnear, who's going to speak a little bit about how to, again, share your idea and protect your idea at the same time. Brian is a partner with the law firm of Perkins Coie, and he has a successful practice providing seasoned intellectual property counsel to companies of all sizes. His firm is also a strong supporter of the NVC, so please help me welcome Brian Kinnear.
Okay, I've only been given like 2 minutes, which is really not a lot of time to get into everything, so I'm going to be pretty quick. Everybody here excited about giving their pitch and really excited about the technology that they're going to be presenting on? Come on, come on, come on. Great. So bring in the lawyer to bring everybody back to reality. You got to be careful with what you're doing. Most people, when they do these things, they get so excited, they get caught up in the moment, and they want to explain everything to whoever they're talking to. And it doesn't matter if it's the grocery store clerk or maybe somebody who might not loan you money. So the thing to remember at this point in time is talk in generalities. This is a public forum. You don't want to give people the details because that's where your intellectual capital is. I'm not going to say patents or trademarks or trade secrets. Just think of it as an asset. And that's what you want to keep close to your vest in a forum like this. If you can, talk in generalities, not in specifics, the what's, not the how's. And if you want to get into more detail, make sure you get a confidentiality agreement with somebody. Again, otherwise, you got to keep it secret. You got to keep it safe, sort of like Gandalf told the Hobbit in Lord of the Rings. Okay? I'll be around all night. I'm sure people have questions on the best ways to do that and ways you can do it. There's a lot of online things you can do to get some help for the non-disclosure agreements, confidentiality agreements. You don't need to get an expensive lawyer to do it. I'm happy to charge you a lot of money to do it for you, but I don't see any reason why we need to do that. So I'll be around if you have questions.
Thank you very much, Brian. And certainly, again, if you do have any other questions, he'll be around afterwards to speak with you. So now, before we move forward, I'd like to share a few ground rules about the upcoming pitches. First, pitchers will have 60 seconds to pitch their idea, which will be immediately followed by 60 seconds of feedback from our feedback masters. In the interest of keeping on schedule, please hold your applause until the end when all of the pitchers have completed their pitches. That said, we do have timing lights down here for the pitchers. It's 60 seconds. At yellow, that means you have 10 seconds left, and then red is a hard stop. We do have designated clappers here who will start clapping right when that red light starts blinking. So in that case, do feel free, audience, to jump in on that applause. For the pitchers, just another quick logistical point. We are using the baseball lingo that was created last year by Andy Evans, who's also in the audience. If you're pitching, that means you're up to bat. You should already be down here. If you're on deck, that means you're next up, and you should have the lapel mic mic'd up to you already by our volunteers. And then if you're behind that, you're in the hole. You should also generally be here waiting to get mic'd up as well. Those behind generally be somewhat close by, and the others in the pitcher corral, as long as you're kind of somewhere close when your time is ready to go, that's all we need. Real quick, we do have 3 prizes tonight. We'll be awarding those at the end of the evening. We have 3 prizes, which are going to be Best Idea, Best Pitch, and then Craziest Idea or Pitch. And we'll be leaving that up to Sue and Howard to decide. And again, we'll be awarding those right before we break for the reception. So moving to the feedback masters, we are very lucky to have 2 amazing people here tonight to do that for us. Our first feedback master is Sue Heilbronner. Sue is the co-founder and CEO of Merge Lane Accelerator, which focuses on women-led companies. Sue has had a remarkable and truly entrepreneurial path, beginning her work as an attorney with the Department of Justice, founding an online baby gift company, and leading multiple e-commerce and digital marketing companies. She brings a depth of experience and a humor that can captivate any room. Please help me welcome Sue Heilbronner. Our second feedback master for the night is Howard Diamond. Howard is the CEO of Mobile Day, a company that allows one-touch international and conference calls from cell phones, among other things. Whether it's building a company or creating off-the-charts growth, Howard certainly is your man. He's led several companies to amazing success over his career, bringing one company from 0 to 75 million in 5 years, and leading another from 500 million to 1.2 billion in revenue in just 6 years. When he's not conquering that realm of the business world, you can also find him mentoring at Techstars. It's a privilege to have him here providing insight and levity all at once. Please help me welcome Howard Diamond. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and get started with the pitches, and I think we're actually even on schedule, which is fantastic. So first up, we've got Qualify.
Oh, no. All right. Sorry. All right. CU Boulder ranks number 4 in the nation for the most swipes right. And I'll admit it, I've swiped right more times than I can even count. Yet the only thing it's led me to are 3 of the most disastrous dates of my entire life. I should have known better that by meeting with a girl based solely on the way she looks, that it was setting me up for nothing but failure. If only there was a way to be able to match with someone based on my personality rather than just my face. Well, with Qualify, not only can you do just that, but we have gamified the entire experience to make it so entertaining that millennials do not even know their compatibility is being tested. You simply create your own unique set of questions tailored to your own unique personality. And you can rest assured that no one will be able to unblur your face or send you a message until after they are qualified to do so. With Qualify, you won't have to pay for that second date. Shit.
Pitch. This is perfect, Nancy. So I think I have maybe spent the last 20 years on and off online dating, and I think every single aspect of business can be analyzed in the context of a metaphor for online dating. I really, really like your idea. And What I want you to do is I want you to check out Startup Podcast Season 2, which
Saw
tells
that.
us.
Great.
Got it.
Yeah.
Dating ring. So what they determined basically is that people do connect based on a level of attractiveness and a band of attractiveness. They try like heck to do this. That doesn't mean it can't be done. And their algorithms, I don't think were sophisticated. It was more hand-to-hand combat.
Right.
And the other thing is I expect you've looked at the OkCupid data, all those historical blog posts about how they've interpreted those questions that they use. So look for cues to that. But I think there's an idea here. And when OKC ran an experiment without faces, people hated it, but the dates were better. So good luck. Thanks.
Thank you.
For current and former retail store employees known as shop girls, we offer a socially conscious e-commerce solution that puts you in touch with buyers of your used apparel. We ask that you participate in our Roundup charity program, in which a portion of the sale price benefits a cause of your choice. I've worked in retail my whole life, and the problem is you end up buying a lot of stuff. That's because retail store employees are that brand's best customers. But when your style changes or your closet fills up, there's not a good solution to unload. I'm not the only one with this problem. There are millions of other shop girls with closets full of designer merchandise wanting to resell. I'm looking for a co-founder, someone who is creative, analytical, and loves fashion. Tweet me at ShopGirlNVC.
Thank you very much. You know, your space is an interesting space because there's been a couple different groups over the years that have tried to do it. And so part of what you're going to have to figure out is what's going to be your big differentiation. And when you talk about it, I didn't get what that was. So you definitely need to hone in on that. But I think your space is really interesting, and I think you've got some real opportunity.
Yep. That sounds good. Are you taking notes? Are you taking notes for our awards?
Picture coming up. If anybody has seats, we do have quite a lot of people standing. So real quick,
When you see me write something, you don't mean it.
just raise them. And right now, don't be shy. Come on down and find some seats, everybody. Let's keep this show moving. Cool. Come on down. There's some up front. Xavier. Okay, great. Let's keep going then.
What was the group that Techstars, what was the group that David invested in? It wasn't a Techstars company, but David invested in that was doing
Making decisions can be hard, so we turn to our family and our friends. People love giving their opinions, but gathering this input can be difficult and disorganized. Our product, Social Cues, is a mobile platform that allows users to send text and photo-based questions to anyone in their various networks and instantly receive graphical and statistical results on their life questions. My name is Brett Wiesman, and I am CEO of Social Cues. We are currently preparing to launch version 1 of our app on both iOS and Android, and are looking for mentors in software, graphic design, and various types of business. Thank you.
Brett, fun, cool, great example. Love that. Do that all the time. I put out these questions in the ether and, sometimes one person will respond. So I think this is really interesting. The question I have is, in order for this to work, I think relying on your own native app is a hard hurdle for you, relying on people to come to you. So I'm just wondering, or I'm encouraging you to think about API integrations with other places that people already are, whether that's social media platforms where they exist, messaging platforms where people play, or potentially survey platforms that people are already using for questions. Mm-hmm. It's great that you can start there and do an MVP. What's the business model real quick?
We're fully integrated with Facebook, and we're currently working on Twitter, as well as all other types such as basic texts, emails, you name it.
Cool. I assume we're allowed to ask questions because I'm doing it. What's the business model? How are you going to make money?
So we're playing around with a few ideas. Currently, we're hoping to build advertising in the form of questions that users can interact with and that are valid to their daily life.
That's fun. Great. Thanks.
Thank you.
So Andy, I'm going to take executive privilege and barge in for a second. Just for coaching for the rest of the groups, one or the other of us will ask every single one of you what your business model is if you, in fact, don't say what your business model is, okay? So just from a coaching perspective, it's really important to us that you not only have an idea, but a business. So we're going to both ask that a lot.
Thank you. And my name Copeland to anybody who may not have that right off the cuff, but these are very understanding judges, so bring everything you got.
No, we're actually not. He's not. We'll be vicious.
He's a jerk.
4 months ago, I was studying abroad at Paris. One day afternoon, I went to McDonald's to charge my iPhone. 3 minutes later, a waitress come over. She asked me, "Where's your backpack?" And suddenly I realized my MacBook Air and other important documents just gone 1 second ago. So after this bad experience, I started to think what I can do to prevent this happening to me again and others. And do you know, Americans spend more than 90 million hours per day for looking lost and misplaced article. Therefore, we are creating Protector, a wireless device which will alarm as soon as your important stuff is missing. Here, I'm asking electricity engineer and the developer to join my startup. Let's create the world's smartest personal protector together. Thank you.
I think the story is great, and I think starting out with that story is a really, really good idea. Again, I'd sort of like to understand your business model, but I realize that sounds like it's contrary to what Andy said, so we'll start arguing about that later.
Yeah.
But I would like, so can you tell me your business model a little bit? How are you going to make money?
So basically, we will sell the wireless device, which is a band, matched with other RFID chips, sold together as a package. And after that, we'll have a continuous service. So this is how we are going to earn money.
And the other thing I wasn't sure about was whether this was sort of like a Revelar kind of a thing where you're addressing safety, or whether this is sort of a tracking kind of a thing where you're tagging things and able to follow up where they are.
Revelar is the last year champion, so it's really cool. So what I'm doing is help people to prevent people steal from them. So when you're hacking, so maybe there are other cases when you're hacking, you lost your phone, or when you're take a metro in New York with no Wi-Fi, no internet, maybe even GPS doesn't work. If people steal from you, how can you prevent it to happen, and how can you know?
Okay, thank you very much. It's great. What's your business? Oh, sorry.
Disc golf, one of the fastest growing sports in the world, is popularized by its ability for people of all ages and skill sets to compete in an inexpensive sport. Disc golf is designed that discs will be thrown through fairways, around trees and over bushes in the attempt of trying to get to a basket within 3. I play professionally, and the number one problem I find in the sport today is beginners playing with discs that are aimed at advanced players or professionals. So I'm a mechanical engineer, and I've developed a machine that will properly allow discs to be tested and sell to the manufacturers so that beginners can actually buy discs that they'll enjoy the sport and continue the growth of the sport.
Cool. I'll start. Nicholas, I wonder if you've thought about the fact that I actually think the entire golf merchandise industry loves the fact that really lousy golfers spend a fortune on professional equipment. And will they actually want people to know what level of equipment they need to buy?
Well, right now they offer these charts that are depicted at what a professional will throw, but someone like myself isn't the one who's out there buying any of the discs. It's going to be the beginners. And so I kind of think the manufacturers should also be stamping on the disc what a beginner will be doing with that, because no one's going to look over at the chart to see if they're going to buy that disc. They're going to look at the disc itself.
Cool. I have one more thought. Have you seen, what's the show called on Showtime, the startup show, Silicon Valley? That show, remember he came out and he said, I have this one tool and it's just for music compression. And then everyone who looked at the product said, no, 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 that's for everything. Like if you could really create diagnostics that help people get the right level sporting equipment, that would be an awesome company.
Cool. I really appreciate the feedback.
All right, who in this room loves the most innovative products but struggles to find them when searching? Okay. My name's Keith, and I'm the CEO of Forwardly, and we solve this problem. Businesses have the exact same problem of finding you. They struggle to bring the most innovative products to the market because they compete with large marketing budgets. We solve this problem by going and getting companies. If you sign up at forwardly.com, we get companies to give you free product. And all we ask you to do in return is if you like that product enough that you would want to own it for yourself, simply go on Forwardly's website and buy it for someone else. And if you don't like the product, offer back a review. It's a pay it forward model that works. Sign up at forwardly.com. We're about ready to run our first test. Every time you purchase from forwardly.com, we make a commission. That's our business model. Thank you.
By definition, I have no questions then. So talk to me a little bit about your pricing model and why the companies are going to be willing to give you this piece of the pie.
So companies are already spending a lot of money on their marketing budgets to reach the consumers, and a lot of companies don't have large enough marketing budgets to reach the consumers. By giving us their product for free, we're able to reduce their costs to be able to get their product into our consumers' hands, and it's just a cost of doing business or a marketing cost.
You're totally right about that. If you've got a great way of reaching those consumers, so what's your way of solving the problem of mass marketing what you're doing so that you've got the pool of people that will replace the pool of people they're not going to get if they go through you?
I'm a little confused by your question. Ask it one more time.
So your description of why the companies don't want to do it themselves is that it costs a lot of money for them to go out and market to the world.
Yes.
And inform them about what they're doing. Don't you have to do the same thing in order to be
No,
successful?
because if we send you something, Howard, all we're asking you to do is send it to someone you think would want that product. You know who would want a product that you think is pretty cool and innovative.
Right. But
Companies
how are you
struggle to find
finding
that.
me in the first place?
You're signing up on our website.
And how do I know to sign up on your website?
Well, I'm telling you right now.
All right, great. Thank you. I'm signing up.
First experiment.
42 million people dress like this to run and get healthy. But how do we improve? Wearable tech is a good tracks the steps behind us, but who's going to show us the steps ahead? Enter Core Factor, a revolutionary approach to personal athletics. Our app I'm very self-conscious in shorts up here.
You should be sitting over here.
You've got my Colorado logo, though. So. I lost my place. Shoot. Enter Core Factor.
Steps going forward. What does that mean?
Oh my God.
What's our business model?
I'm so
How's it
sorry.
different than Fitbit?
Can I look at my note really quickly?
Sure.
It's question time. Ah, shit. Shoot.
Sure. All right, here's my question. What do you do, and how is it different than the existing step meters?
Well, it's a revolutionary new product that tracks our performance, but not the way that Fitbit or Garmin does. Instead, we use predictive data modeling, identifying core factors, lifestyle factors that affect your athletic performance. We look at correlations between sleep, BMI, weight, diet, how much you drink, how much coffee you consume, to, I had this memorized a second ago.
You're good.
We look at correlations between lifestyle effects and performance, and that's something that nobody's done before. We're looking at physiological measures up until now, and
Dave, stop for a second.
yeah.
Why are you really excited about this? Why are you really excited?
Because I have always been a runner. I have followed millions of marathon training plans trying to get my time down, and I just can't because I think it's because my weight is a little too high. And nobody is telling you to adjust your weight, to look at some lifestyle factors. What time do you go to bed? What do you eat? You know, what's your BMI? So I've done an initial survey, collected a bunch of data, run some regression models, and found correlations between, well, a significant correlation between BMI and athletic performance. And I think that's the kind of thing that people need to know about. And so the business model is licensing software as service.
You have a perfect name for that outfit. Good job.
And Dave understands something. It's a lot easier sitting here than standing there, and we all get that.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anthony, and I'm here today to tell you about my company, Evervigil, and the future of the home security industry. But first, let's take a quick look at the past. Traditionally, home security systems require existing infrastructure or professional installation, a monitoring fee, and a landline. Evervigil challenges that business model by providing low and middle income families with a security system that does not require professional installation and has no monthly premiums. I'm currently looking for mentors and peers who have experience in patent law, cybersecurity, and SolidWorks experience. Please feel free to contact me, anthony.osmany@gmail.com, or come talk to me afterwards. And remember, Evervigil is always watching out for you.
I was the only one who heard don't clap till the end of all the presentations. How far are you in terms of developing the product? Does the product actually exist?
No, not yet. Last year I made the glass break detector for a project class.
So give me a 30, a millisecond on what the product will actually be like.
Okay, so a center console, like in a traditional security system, a base station that's sending out the cellular data, entry sensors, glass break detectors, motion sensors, possibly temperature sensors. It'd be basically a system, an array of sensors that you could interface and see the status of through a phone app.
So Tim Enwell, who's an entrepreneur a lot of us know, just sold a company to Nest. You should connect with Tim.
Yeah.
And talk to him. He'd be a great mentor.
The Google guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we talk afterwards,
Yeah, that
I'll
sounds
give you
great.
a reference for him.
All right.
Good job.
Thank you.
This is Colton Ray, and I'm here to introduce you to Revision. Have you ever asked yourself how eyeglasses are made? Well, here's how they start. A single polycarbonate lens, about the size of a hockey puck. They put it into a machine, carve out your prescription, and grind it down to fit your frames. This is what's left. Polycarbonate swarf, a waste byproduct that contains nasty chemicals like BPA and CR39. 600 tons of this straight into a landfill every year. And Revision's mission is to significantly reduce or eliminate the amount of polycarbonate waste in our landfills. To do this, we've partnered with CU's top material scientists to develop ways to clean and repurpose the material. We've partnered with Mr. Bart Foster, a successful entrepreneur in the optics industry who's helping us develop strategic partnerships. And finally, we've partnered with students at the Leeds School of Business to develop a comprehensive business plan, as well as figure out the logistics to get this material to us in a cost-efficient manner. Revision is driving sustainability for the future, and we hope that you'll join us. Thank you.
Okay, So this feedback is for every one of you. Unless you're on the Ellen DeGeneres show and you come out dancing, what we want to be doing is just walking up. Can you do it with me? Come on.
Do it with you?
Yeah,
Cool.
we're gonna do
I'm
it
good.
together. It's awesome.
I'm
Yeah.
good. Walk
Are
out,
you?
down.
Okay, we're going to walk.
Cool.
We're going to just
We got
walk.
it.
Okay, cool. And see this X? We're going to stand here.
I had no
Okay?
idea that X was
I know,
there.
it doesn't matter where you stand.
Cool.
But here's the thing. What I want to, like, there's a connection even now. See how I'm standing? There's a connection between you, your spine, and the floor. You want to hold your power in front of this room. Otherwise, you're kind of shedding your power all over the place, right? It's
Is that a
cool.
problem?
Well, maybe,
Okay.
unless if you want your power, you might want to
Cool.
keep it. Who is your client? Who are you going to sell this to?
Who am I going to sell this to? Well, we're looking for anybody who buys raw materials. Right now, polycarbonate is way too expensive for companies to use it in things like toys and different building materials. So we're going to get this for free. Companies are paying $800 by the dump truck to get rid of it, and they'll give it to us. So we're going to try and find a way to turn this from a toxic chemical waste byproduct into something that they can use as raw material.
Cool. Nice job.
Thanks so much.
A lack of money should not prevent you from doing what you love. Unfortunately, this is often the case for aspiring musicians. A shortage of funds is the leading factor contributing to musicians being unable to pursue their dreams. Instead of diving into personal savings, borrowing from family and friends, or signing a potentially disincentivizing contract with a record label, artists can go to crowdsurfer.com to crowdfund. By utilizing Kickstarter's Give to Get business model, users will be encouraged to donate to an artist to solve a specific problem in exchange for gear, music downloads, future albums, and much more. Apart from the inherent benefit to the artists, users are able to use the platform as a music exploration website that capitalizes on...
I'll ask you questions so that you can get some of that out. Capitalizes on what?
Capitalizes on the growing trend for consumers to find new music at the ground level.
Okay. So when they introduced me, they talked about all these wonderful successes I had. One of the things they don't tend to do with these forums, because they want us to actually come back, is talk about our flaming failures. One of mine was a record company that I did called Rendezvous Entertainment. It was a total financial disaster, though I loved doing it. Disintermediating the music business is a great idea. But one of the things you got to be careful about is, first of all, virtually nobody makes money in the music industry, right? The number of people who actually make money is really, really small. What kind of stuff have you done to figure out that you can raise enough money to support an artist through crowdsourcing?
Well, the point isn't necessarily for the artists this sounds very counterintuitive, necessarily to make money. It's for them to survive as an artist, for them to be able to just get the bare necessities to put out an album or to get the equipment that is necessary to perform. So it's not necessarily about advertising, it's more about selling yourself and trying to form some sort of backing so that you can function as an artist.
Thank you.
Hey, my name is Jake Hurwitz. I want to take this opportunity to introduce you guys to 3 people. Michael was 15 years old when he taught himself iOS and built an app. He had over 250,000 downloads in the first year. He's now a sophomore here at CU. Jonathan is a film major, also at CU. He spends his time making short films that are incredible. And then there's Robin. Robin owns a small business here in Boulder, and she needed help building a website and a video just to get off the ground. 6 months ago, I started iSight Creative, where we connect students like Michael and Jonathan to small business owners like Robin. We help them with photography, videography, design, and social media affordably. In the past 6 months, we've worked with 23 clients and built over 60 projects. And now we're looking to grow even more. So if anyone out here has any experience scaling a service company, I'd love to chat further with you after the event. Thank you so much.
first, you have a lot of friends, but second, really good delivery. And clients, that's right, 23 is a high percentage of this room. What's the differentiation from Elance and other platforms for freelancers?
It's a good question.
Thank
We're
you.
right now going after only CU students. Our team is just here at CU in the city of Boulder. So we're in person. If you're a client or if you're a small business owner here in Boulder, you have to go to Elance. You're probably never going to meet that person in person. We have the opportunity to change that.
Cool. Jake, the thing, in terms of thinking about building this as an investable business, if that's what you want to build, I actually think your idea has really excellent differentiation from Elance. There's a couple issues with people who end up on Elance and skepticisms that actually your platform doesn't have, because these are young people that are doing other things. They're not young people who may or may not be able to get a full, who knows who's on Elance. I would just encourage you to think about scale. And that answer is one that I hope by the end of the program you're not giving. So at least you have the option to go multiple directions, one of which is I don't need to meet anybody who does great work digitally. I can be happy to connect with them remotely, happy to fund a college student, happy to save money for my startup by using them. So just be thinking about scale.
Sure. That's kind of why I want to talk to you guys. I don't know what direction I want to take to scale.
Great.
I want to figure that out.
Cool.
Good. Thanks, guys.
Today, robots are easier to build than ever. Thanks to companies like SparkFun, anyone can go online and buy the components they need to build a robot. The problem is programming them. To be able to program a robot to be more than just a simple toy is still a very challenging problem. Because of this, people start to use dumbed-down hardware and software and are unable to realize that they cannot program a real robot, that they can't make the transition to the frameworks used in research and industry. My name is Andy McAvoy. I'm a PhD student in the robotics lab here. And I want to enable hackers, makers, and anyone else interested in robots to create real robots. And I'm working on a service that will allow them to do this. If you're interested in this idea, please come find me afterwards. We can talk more. Right now, I'm looking for people to help me develop this idea, especially people with experience doing web apps. Thank you for your attention.
I thought I understood at the beginning of where you were going, but because of where you ended up, I wasn't sure.
Mm-hmm.
So give it to me again. I'm old. I'm getting really slow. Your premise is not that you're going to build robots. Your premise is that you're going to build systems that allow people to program robots easier. Is that?
Right. So as a hobby, I like to build a lot of robots, build a lot of electrical devices. But the problem I see when going to hacker spaces and other places is that people get stuck at a certain level. They use Arduino and Raspberry Pi and other simple tools to build simple things. And then when they take it to the next level, do something really complicated with the robot, they get stuck because they don't know how to make the transition to the frameworks.
Are you aiming at the people, at hobbyists in terms of building
Correct.
robots, or are you aiming at people who are?
I'm aiming at hobbyists and makers that want to build more complicated robots but aren't getting a PhD in robotics.
And have you spent any time with the guys at Modular Robotics?
A little bit with Mark Gross and some other people, yes. Thanks.
So I'm really excited right now. We're going into a robotic revolution. Robotic hardware is getting cheaper, and robotic arms are becoming safer around humans, smaller, more compact, and lightweight. And the problem I see is that we don't have the software intelligence to use this new hardware. We're still programming robots in factories the same way we did in the 70s. We're doing the same trajectories over and over again, the same movements. And robots have no understanding of their environment or how to compensate for changes. Another problem I see is that people underestimate the difficulty of this problem, and they start out trying to make it themselves, and they kind of squander and get nowhere. And so Picnic is a B2B robotic software company aiming to give your robot the capability to pick things up, move things around, interact with them. It will save you thousands of development hours with easy, intuitive human interfaces and easy setup. I'm Dave Coleman. I'm a PhD student also at the robotics lab here. And I've worked on this for many years. And I'm looking for people to join me who are developers in robotics. Thank you.
Dave, you're a developer in robotics?
Yes.
And you're looking for other people who are developers who can help you with this?
Any kind of developer, really.
Okay, so my question is, who's going to sell this and who's going to develop a business plan for this business?
Yeah, it's not very vertical. It's more of a horizontal approach. And I believe that there's a need out there. People are using open source approaches right now that I'm very involved with, and they're not delivering. They're not reliable enough. They don't have all the features. And seeing that, I think that a lot of companies would prefer to use this service instead of having to do it from scratch and spend tons of money on doing it.
Makes sense. I get that. I think the point that I want to make is, in terms of thinking about how you're going to develop a team or even find a co-founder, some out here in this room or beyond this room, just be thinking about what your genius areas are, what you are really great at, and either what you're average at or what you suck at, and your next person should be the person who fits one of those two buckets, right? So unless maybe you have this ability to build out a business plan and a sales strategy. If not, I'd be thinking about bringing somebody like that on board.
Sure, of course.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good work.
Thank you.
So the trend today in computer networks, they are moving from physical networks to software networks to become flexible and cost-effective. And this can be seen in many areas in the industry, including the cloud, which is the hottest topic in the tech industry today. But the problem with the software networks that they cannot scale, and they also can fail very easily. And current solutions are very expensive and not practical. We present ENI, a novel design and a framework for cloud networks that can solve this problem in most effective and efficient way. We built a prototype, we filed a patent, we published a paper, and we received a very good feedback from the research and the industry communities, indicating that our solution not only can solve these problems today in the cloud networks, but are also going to open the doors for many exciting innovation in the cloud. We're looking for business guidance to help us how to market the product for commercial production use. Thank you.
So you have a product today?
Yes.
And you have people using the product, or is it still totally in alpha right now?
So I'm a PhD student as well, and that was my paper I published, that we built a prototype and we tested in a small setup in our lab. So that's the product we have.
And who's your customer?
So the customers, we have actually two business models. We have the big cloud providers, which is like Amazon, Google, and IBM, these companies. And also we are targeting the tenants who are using these cloud. We thinking of have it as a small software that they can integrate it to their VMs, in the cloud, they can use it. So we're thinking of both sides.
So you want to sell to Amazon and Microsoft and folks like that and sell them as a technology solution that they can use to differentiate?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's a tough thing to do in this environment in terms of them wanting to buy something that would be that core to their technology?
Well, our solution, we know that they need that because the current solution, they don't work. And the reason why I'm very comfortable with it, because once I published the paper, I got feedback from the research and the industry, like people from IBM and AT&T contacting us, and they tell us, this is a cool work that can help us, and can we collaborate more? Can we work with you? So that's why I feel they'll need it.
The IP attorney is now it's about to come up. That's great. Thank you.
What are you ashamed of? Your body, your income, what you did last night, or your very self? Shame, it's a normal human emotion, but for some of us, it becomes a toxic way of being, killing our self-esteem and keeping us small both personally and professionally. So what can lead to an off-ramp from this infamous shame cycle? A new way of working with shame. I am Christina Sismar, but please call me the Shame Lady. I offer tools, guidance, and hope so that people can build their own off-ramp. I'm looking for team members, including a videographer, an app strategist and co-developer, and a psychology student to do research on this model.
Christina.
Hi.
So just for everyone out there, Christina did something super awesome at the beginning of her pitch, which is she immediately established an emotional connection, any kind of connection with you. And I think that was really nice. And I've kind of felt it in the room. So I think that's a great pitch tactic. In terms of thinking about this, Christina, the feedback that I have for you, leaving aside blogs, I mean, you're going to manifest whatever you put your attention on. And if you put your attention on these, 7 bubbles, however many that is, I think you're going to really have a hard time actually creating something. So if you think app is a scalable platform for disseminating your curriculum and your steps for the off-ramp from shame, then I would have I know you can only have one slide, but this slide would say, we have an app and it's an off-ramp.
We do have an app. It exists already.
Fantastic.
So,
and that sounds scalable to me and something you could disseminate without relying on individual service-based business. So just focus, focus, focus.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
For those looking to liven up any party or gathering who are tired of short-range speakers and dull get-togethers, we present a stylized, portable, interactive speaker that raises the bar in both looks and sound. Audio experience is controlled by an app that allows each audio sphere to link with one another through Bluetooth, pairing all of them to one cellular device for a surround sound music experience. Each speaker also features interactive light settings. You can put these around a basketball court when you're playing with your friends. You can bring them up to the mountains when you go camping. You can pack them up for a day at the beach, or simply you can put them around your house or patio to enhance any occasion. We have the fundamentals of design, and we are looking for help and assistance going from idea to product, as well as help with initial marketing. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. So there's obviously a ton of remote speakers, Bluetooth speakers, all sorts of different wireless speaker kinds of setups.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the high impact, what is your differentiation? What are you doing that's different than everybody else that's out there?
Rather than having one Bluetooth speaker that you can put at whatever distance you want, and it dies down from standing away from it, you can have, say I have one, you have one, he has two, we're all friends, we meet up, we can all connect them together and have surround sound. You can use them at night with lights to light up your area. But it's ultimately that Bluetooth connectivity between all of them that provides that surround sound.
And do you have the technology that you've already done that allows you to do that?
Not yet. That's what we're working on. But,
okay.
Thank you.
Great.
Hi, I'm Luke. You know when you're at a restaurant or a bar and you've had your last beer or you're finished your meal and now all you're waiting on is the check and you want to get out of there? Sometimes it takes a while, especially if you're in a large group, and servers have this problem as well. It takes just as long for them. Enter Tabist. Tabist is a mobile app that handles your restaurant or bar tab experience automatically. A Tabist user simply gets up and leaves after they're finished with their meal. Now, I am not eligible to compete in the MVC, neither is my partner, so we're looking for people who are eligible and that have some app development skills. I'm a corporate attorney. I graduated from CU 2 years ago, and my partner is a web designer. And if you're interested, come talk to me afterward. I'd love to chat or email me as well. Thanks.
Okay, other than Nancy, who's not here anymore, but right now, but other than Nancy, how many people are not right now connected to a company and also in this university? Just raise your hand. Great. I love this idea. Go talk to him. This is just, I don't know how you're here right now, but I'm just going to suspend my disbelief. This is a great thought. The one question I have is, feels like a lot of at least existing restaurants have already migrated their POS from the old line Micros platforms into ShopKeep and all these new ones, Square, whatever they're running. Can this live hand in hand, or do they have to replace their entire POS again?
Ideally, it would live hand in hand. We haven't figured that out yet because we don't have a developer, but we would like, if worst case scenario, we would have our mobile app that we would have our own iPad POS system that would be side by side with their current POS system so that they could use
our POS system with our app users and then use the other system with the others, which might be complicated, but we recognize that restaurants have the final say in all this, so we're going to do everything we can to make them happy.
Cool, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. So we are halfway through our pitches. And first off, I'm going to say, let's keep doing what we're doing, which is clapping for everybody when they're up and down, because already every single one of these pitches and ideas have been magnificent. So let's keep going with that. Moving forward, though, real quick, just to kind of break up the night, I do want to quickly introduce the room to all of the mentors that are here tonight. And we're going to do this just real quick. We're shooting from the hip here. But I'd like every mentor in the room to stand up. And then moving from this side of the room all the way to the other side, just if you could please state your name. And then afterwards, that way we can have all of the participants and other individuals in the room connect with you at the reception. So all of the mentors, please stand up for me. Okay, fantastic. And I think we'll start here with you, Scott. We'll work back and then we'll go through the room.
Justin Custer. Xavier Melendez. Brian Long. Carl Meyer.
Liz Seeley.
Rich Troutner. Bob Baskerville. Rich Blaine. Chad Mercy. Lauren Burnett.
Simon, you probably can't say my last name.
Peter Tavares. Mark Danschroeder. Bart Foster. Daniel Zest.
Fantastic. Thanks again. These mentors are here because they want to help you, and they're here tonight, and they want to meet you as well. So individuals, participants, pitchers, please come seek them out afterwards at the reception. So one more item before we move back into the pitches, just to kind of get the blood flowing a little bit in the room. I'd like to take about 30 seconds to a minute for everybody in the room just to turn and meet somebody new next to them, introduce yourselves, say hi, and we'll reconvene here in about a minute.
Why I don't understand where the women are. I don't get it.
I am so, you know, I'm just berserk.
This is a totally open platform. Where are they? They're here.
It's...
All right, fantastic. So we are heading into the last half of our pitches. Next up is trade rate.
The world has a basic optimization problem. People have what they don't want and want what they don't have. Trade Rate is the solution to that problem. Trade Rate is an online, localized, bartering marketplace that enables members of communities to exchange goods and services in an auction-based environment.
Users can include currencies in offers, but the emphasis on bartering promotes sustainability by encouraging users to reuse products rather than buying new ones. The auction environment drives competition and creates a thrilling user experience in a gamified environment. Finally, the trustworthiness is enforced through users being able to rate each other at the end of a trade. In short, it's eBay's auction, Amazon's seller ratings, and Craigslist locality. TradeRate makes money by offering micro upgrades to users, such as improved listings, subscription packages that include multiple offers, and we are looking for a business and legal team.
All right, so how much of this exists now versus what you're trying to develop?
I'm a computer science major, and I developed the prototype this summer.
Great. And do you have a team, or is it just you?
Just me. And if you want to see the prototype and crash it for me, it's live at traderate.io.
That's great. I'll do that.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you.
Brad told us to stand up here, so sorry, the first person probably was a little freaked out about that.
Why are we standing all of a sudden? Brad Bernthal said we weren't supposed to be sitting down. Andy told us to sit down.
That's my fault again.
God, Andy.
Brad's always right.
Who start?
You're good.
Good, okay. So when we turn electrical signals, which we control, into vibrations that we feel or sounds that we hear, we need some sort of loudspeaker or ultrasound generation. Typically, this involves bulky parts or costly rare materials. Now, if we could shrink these into some sort of sheet of paper, we could stick them up on walls, generate noise-controlled surfaces and spaces, build them into cardstock or books, and we could make sound-emitting surfaces on 3D shapes. We could also make tiny, low-cost ultrasound emitters for flow measurement or flow mixing. This is all possible right now using nanotechnology that we've invented and developed here at CU and demonstrated as well. It's already moving into commercial production in a different application. So I've made audible sound from structured surfaces less than 1/10 of the thickness of a human hair. So you can help this become a commercial reality. Help me raise $100,000 to make marketing prototypes or $250 to get a product launched off the ground. Along the way, you'll help bring this and other engineered structured nanosystems into mass market commercial applications with a consumer product and business and licensing model.
Okay, Joseph, for the non-PhDs in the room, like me, what's the most dominant use case for this thing you want to create?
Dominant use case?
Yeah, the most, how am I going to use this thing if you get
Well, I think that the first people who are going to really adopt this are people who think that it's just cool that we can make sound out of surfaces rather than just speakers and bulky loudspeakers. So I would see initial interest from consumer products, but I think that we can get into that from there into things like generating sound for doing flow meter sensing. So suddenly it becomes an industrial sensor in addition to consumer products. What I need is some more money to sort of build this out into a surface rather than just a chip in a lab to start testing out who's interested in this stuff.
You have anything else, Howard?
I'm going to ask, so the business model question we're giving up on. How about team question? Is it just you, or do you have a team?
So this comes out of a 4.5-year project related to this other application. And now I'm trying to take this into new applications. So right now it's me and my collaborator who's a professor at the university. And I'm trying to build a team. More importantly, I need to start getting something that's more testable, actually fabricated. And to that, I need to hire at least 1.5 engineers, basically.
So the money is for people in prototyping?
Yeah. Thanks.
My name is Sam LaCase, and I am the CEO and founder of RapidSnap. 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. To support the cause, I joined the 80 million people who wear Livestrong bracelets. But this bracelet only conveys one message, and I am more than just a person who had cancer. As a former teacher, I observed students who expressed and had similar challenges of expressing their individuality. Well, RapidSnap's mission is to provide young students the opportunity to express their individuality. Through a silicone bracelet and interchangeable snaps, students can individualize the snaps, whether it's cats or dogs, skiing or swimming, beaches or books. Now, we already have a guarantee sale, plus parents and teachers recognize additional uses in allergy awareness and assisting in motor control. I am asking for teammates. Thank you. I'm asking for teammates and advisors. Thank you very much.
Great. So what do you need to take it from where it is now to actually being a business?
Right now, I need more money for more prototypes and a marketing team.
And you said you've already got the sale made, or you've already got
I already have one sale made.
So what does that mean?
It's a small sale, but it's a sale.
So spend a minute not a minute, spend 3 seconds on how are you going to sell this?
How am I going to sell this? So I am going to, first, I have a lot of connections in the education world. So I'm going to first kind of engage the principals and teacher friends and put it into the schools. Then I am going to go towards Target and big retail stores.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Imagine you wake up in the morning to the cold realization that it is someone's special day and you totally forgot to get them something. What do? Boulder Bouquet combines the convenience of online shopping, the popularity of craft beers, craft cocktails, craft liquor, with the fun and the wow factor of a delivered floral arrangement. With just a few clicks, you can send somebody a custom curated arrangement of alcohol and related accessories and have it hand delivered to them. We're looking to target both the consumer segment and professionals who give gifts frequently as part of their business. We're going to start out small, start out local, prove out the concept, build a brand around this, and expand nationally. Our team of evening MBA students is looking to connect with a mentor who has experience with getting a high-end, high-touch consumer good out to the market. And we're also looking for a designer and a lawyer. Thank you.
Aaliyah, is that right?
Alia, thank you.
Alia, sure. Have you looked into the legal issues associated with the shipment of alcohol?
Yes, we have, and that's why we decided to hand deliver instead, because it's complicated to try to ship.
Okay, great. And I can see why evening MBA students would really like this idea. How, in terms of competition, do you guys just see this as totally unique? I mean, what's your closest competitor to this idea?
There is Drizzly, which will deliver essentially a six-pack to your door, but it's not a gift. Mm-hmm. And then there's like a fancy gift basket delivery, which charges a lot, and they do have alcohol in their baskets.
And if you did a franchise where every city did door-to-door delivery, basically, you actually would. The legal issues are associated with interstate commerce, aren't they? Shipping across states. So I would just, as you build this, be thinking about the franchise aspect, which is, well, you know this, you're in business school, but you need to have a playbook, right? We're going to create unique things and put them together, and there's going to be unique systems for how we deliver and what our messaging is, and we're going to have a brand, and we're going to have a back end to service these deliveries that franchisees could take. Cool idea.
Thank you.
Excessive and rising college expenses has made college intangible for many, while leaving others in tremendous debt. I believe that neither money nor lack of time should be a barrier between striving students and higher education. Having applied to over 60 scholarships, I know all too well that the process is difficult. And for organizations, application management services are non-existent. When applying for grad school scholarships, I thought, why hasn't this gotten easier in 4 years? Just imagine a world where accessing college funds was easy. Skive is a collective of students and those that believe in them that streamlines the way scholarships are sought through a perfect match search engine, completed through personalized profiles, and managed through an intuitive backend that allows scholarships to sort applications. Come join a team that increases accessibility, decreases the $1.2 trillion loan burden, and makes scholarships simple. Or just share your story at skive.com. Skive, redefining how scholars thrive.
So I think the concept is great. Have you actually developed anything with it?
Yeah, so I've gotten quotes from several developers, and I do have a front-end designer on board
So you've got a challenge on the database side.
Mhm.
How do you find out about all the different scholarships that are out there? Right?
Yeah. So
How are you doing that?
So our main goal is to approach universities for institutional scholarships, and then having applied to over 60 scholarships, I have a lot of ins with scholarship organizations, and our main goal is to target local scholarships and never make it on to these other search engines. So if we approach them, then these services for them to manage these applications eliminates all the time that they have sorting.
And are you going to make your money from the people who apply for the scholarships or from the scholarship services?
No, we absolutely believe that charging students that need money is just morally wrong. So we're going to charge the universities.
That means you're not going to do it.
No,
I was just
yeah.
I understood it was morally wrong.
charging universities and scholarship organizations because this is eliminating time for them. I've talked to several scholarship mentors, and they've all said that this is something that they really need because as of now, it's all done by hand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to give a quick plug for these guys who got into the, come on up, come on, you just got into the home stretch. So just everybody take one deep breath and just see if you can be as present for this last group as you were for the first group, because they deserve just as much of our attention.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Daniel Halpern, and I'd like to share with you a quick story. About a year ago, I was elected to the executive board of my fraternity. I was thrilled. It was such a great opportunity for me to give back to an organization that had done so much for me. Soon, however, I quickly learned that as an executive member, me and the rest of my board were personally liable for everything that happened at any of our events and in our house. Not so thrilling. At the time, the best way to mitigate this risk was handwritten attendance sheets. Whenever someone came to our events, we would take attendance. As most of you college students know, we tend to lie on those. So there had to be a better solution. I got together with my current risk manager at the time, Sam Korn, who's now my partner, and we came up with that solution. Know who? We provide solutions for any sort of student leader to protect themselves against all the liabilities that they incur taking those leadership positions. This wasn't unique to just our chapter. Even though everyone else had the same issues, there was no solution. We're looking for mentors in the legal implications of this, as well as people to help us develop a mobile application.
So Daniel, is your plan to sell this to the national fraternities, or who's going to be your customer?
So we want to sell it to the chapters. Part of the value proposition is the fact that they hold the data. So what we're doing is, part of the issue is that there's a statute of limitations on a lot of these things, and student organizations change leadership every year. Nothing gets passed down. I remember when I took a position, we barely kept those papers for like a week, right? The statute of limitation on most of these things is about 10 years. So it's ridiculous that you can't keep that. So we want to host it digitally and sell it to the chapters where they will have control over it hosted.
Do you believe
remotely.
the normal chapter president thinks that this is a risk that they're going to be willing to pay for?
It's actually a huge risk. Right now, a lot of accusations are coming up at various things. Not just that, it's also great for attendance and things like that. One of the biggest values, I know for us, we spent hundreds of dollars at every event. We'd hire security, we'd have all sorts of things going to risk management. One of our biggest positions in the chapter was risk management. And there was just never a way to make that continue, all those improvements continue between different boards.
How much of this exists today?
We've developed an application that works with a computer, and we have a database running, but we need to move it to mobile app to really get traction, we think.
So I think your general idea is great. Having to sell it to individual chapters, I think, is going to be a really tough distribution model. So the thing that had popped into my head, I think you should look at some way of doing an aggregation of customer, whether it's going to national fraternities, whether it's going to interfraternity councils. There's a bunch of different aggregators in that specific world. Unfortunately, I know a lot about it. I used to spend a lot of time in that world. And so I would pop up a level in terms of aiming who your customer is. I think the burden of selling to an individual chapter is probably not going to be worth what you can in fact charge them for software like this. So you've always got to worry about your cost of sale versus your cost of goods.
Yeah, so what we want to do is we want to start out with chapters and eventually move up to selling it as like a package to the IFC. So an IFC would buy it for all the chapters and then they would get their own copy of the service. And eventually we would like to try and get like insurance deals for national fraternities who might be able to use this.
Got it.
Are you guys in law school?
No, we're both undergraduates.
Right.
So that's one of the things we're looking for is the legal implications of that and help with that.
Electrosurgery is the use of high-frequency AC current to both cut and cauterize. Odds are you've never heard of it, but if you've had surgery, there's about an 80% chance of you experience electrosurgery. The current state of the art is incredibly crude. I hope to not scare anybody, but I would compare it to using, say, a chainsaw for a fine wood carving. Despite these facts, the global market is expected to reach $4 billion by 2019. I have the world's best electrosurgical generator on my lab bench here at CU Boulder. My research was sponsored and validated by a market leader. I have a patent pending through the CU Tech Transfer Office, and I'm looking for business and legal development to help bring a smarter electrosurgical scalpel to market.
Scott, I love your idea. Again, we talk about, another one of my massive failures was a software company I did in the healthcare field. And so the problem in healthcare right now is that there's amazing technological innovation going on. Selling it to hospitals or selling it to doctors or getting it actually implemented at places is horribly hard. So what's your business model in terms of how you're actually going to get, who's your customer and how are you going to get them to actually buy it?
So one strategy I've been playing with is to get it in the hands of vets, because to bring a product like this to be used on humans, it has to go through FDA. Get vets using it, get one of the major players in this market to see it, and then get bought out.
Easy.
I had that business plan 30 years ago too. It just didn't work. The one thing I would recommend if you're thinking about that direction is looking at vet schools, because again, the aggregation play is really a good one. One of the nice things about veterinary schools, as you probably know, is there's a very finite number of them, and they're all sort of control things. So I would aim at the vet schools.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Sure.
What if I told you that what you guys are doing right now may be killing you? Research indicates that people who sit for most of the day have the same risk of a heart attack as those who smoke on a regular basis. For those of us with office jobs, we are literally killing ourselves by sitting. Minute Movements is going to solve this problem. We deliver short, easy-to-follow video tutorials directly to employees' computers or devices, empowering them to get up and move throughout their workday. The content is sold to companies and delivered through their internal networks. It's designed specifically for working professionals to do collectively with their coworkers. We benefit the employee by creating a fun, active work environment. We benefit the company by driving down health insurance costs, sick days, and attrition rates. And we benefit ourselves with a recurring revenue model around monthly subscription fees. We're looking for software developers and business mentors. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. I'm good. I'm down with that. Now we know why Brad wanted us to stand up. We were killing ourselves.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
That was a great opening.
When that happened, I was like, come on, give me a minute first.
Cool. So I like the B2B idea, and I like the network integration idea. I think that's good, and Howard's been emphasizing that a lot, which is selling to bigger fish instead of selling to minnows. The thing about this idea is I love businesses where you can attack from the top down and the bottoms up. So where you can get one group in a company that just loves this idea, and it's available as a native iOS app, and all of a sudden your marketing department is doing ridiculous stuff, and they're part of the office. And then the HR VP, who's a little harder to move on a quick decision, comes over and says, what in the world are you guys doing? They're like, oh, haven't you seen it? It's Minute Movements. Oh, by the way, they integrate with our network, and the whole company can be doing it at the same time. So I would be thinking about that bifurcated strategy. Cool idea.
The business model question for me. So how are you going to sell it? Who are you going to sell it to? You're looking at, who's your customer?
The customer is the actual corporation, so like the director of health and wellness, to find them, convince them with statistics.
Let me give you a suggestion.
Yeah.
One of the things you should look at is self-insured companies. Companies who aren't self-insured actually don't necessarily have the financial interest in doing this, even though intuitively it seems like they would. There's a bunch of really big companies that are self-insured. For them, something like this is incredible. So groups like Home Depot and folks like that totally do self-insurance. They don't work with any other insurers. And anything they can do to to improve the health of their population has a direct impact on their bottom line. That's who you're going to have to go after in order to get somebody to write you a check.
Thank you.
Tools, I love it.
Keeping our phones, laptops, and other electronic devices is a pain for almost everyone in the world. Portable energy is one solution, especially for those that spend time or live off-grid or near-grid. This is how I power my electronics. It can power my TV, my lighting, and my coffee grinder each morning. I can charge a mobile phone 100 times with this battery. It even is powerful enough to jumpstart a truck. I sell devices at Inventista for $10,000 to $2,000 that are portable energy. This device costs about $500. Bernard Amadei, he's the founder of Engineers Without Borders, and he's my PhD advisor. He knows the importance of portable energy, and he's sending me to Peru for Thanksgiving to work on this project. I'm an inventor, entrepreneur, and engineering professor here, and I'm just looking for people that will help me launch this company.
So I'm known in my world as being totally phobic about energy. In my backpack, I've got like 6 different types of charging devices. So I've got all the, I can charge my cell phone 100 times over with what I carry in my backpack. So I love that concept. But I want to understand who the market is for that. The concept of how powerful it is wonderful, but it's obviously not very portable. So it's not something that's going to help me when I travel or things like that. So who are you aiming at? Are you really aiming at people who are just living remotely, or who's your target market?
So this summer I helped off-grid people, or what I call near-grid, like someone that lives in their van, that have systems like this. What I'm targeting initially is rural farmers that can run electric irrigation pumps. That's why I'm going to Peru, and there's a Greenpeace challenge in India around this. But being able to bank all the solar energy and then power a high-powered device in the short amount of time you need it is the solution that I've come up with.
And is that the actual size?
Well, for irrigation, I mean, it has like 6 to 8 golf cart batteries. And it's a much bigger, like a $2,000 system.
That was part of my question. So do you have a range of devices
Yeah.
for different charging levels?
Yeah, so low, like just charging a phone is like a $10 solution, and then it goes up to $2,000.
That's great.
Chances are that you've eaten something today that was pollinated by a honeybee. Honeybees are invisible and unpaid pollination workforce that is valued at over $600 million. And yet right now, honeybees are actually facing devastating population losses. We have spent and yet even in that case, as much as we depend on them, we have yet to develop effective ways to manage these complex societies. We have spent the past year developing a cost-effective beehive monitoring and analytics platform that will increase the health of managed honeybee populations. This technology, this data-driven technology, comes at the perfect time with political momentum and innovations, obviously, in cloud computing and sensor technologies. We're seeking innovative thinkers, business mentors, and funding opportunities. We are Hive Tech Solutions, and we're going to save the bees.
So whenever you talk about this business, you should always wear yellow and black.
I know.
I know. That's so good.
I give talks in this.
I'm
Absolutely.
right there with
Thank
you.
you.
It's awesome.
Thanks for
That's my only clothing comment. Sorry.
No worries.
So I love this idea, and I like this idea because, in the same as the last person that I talked to, there are major agro opportunities for this, and there are very minor home beekeeper opportunities. So I
Absolutely.
like the sales channel. What do you think is the most likely first big success this company will have?
That's an excellent question.
Thank you.
We would love to sell to the biggest pollinator business in this country. I mean, like the almond crop in California is huge. But honestly, I'm a PhD student, and I am interested in the data aspect and just kind of forming all of our honeybee health questions on actual data. And so I actually want to sell to, or at least get this into universities, anyone who's doing bee research, so kind of these middle of the ground areas, so we can collect a bunch of data.
I'm gonna interrupt you because we're 8 seconds over. But when you talk about a business being investable, the surest way to scare off investors is to say what you just said.
Oh,
so
thanks.
yeah, because universities are notoriously a little bit slow in terms of the sales cycle. So
true.
I would be thinking about Smith and Hawken and Martha Stewart and companies that run the almond plant more broadly. And I love the honey meets data. I think it's great.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thing. We all know the fun side of cannabis. You know, many people use it to enhance daily activities or creativity, maybe increase the pleasure of something. But there's also a downside. We all know that too. Drowsiness, immediate mental haziness afterwards, and a really horrible dosing problem. But what if I told you we've created a product where you can get all the good without any of the bad? Choose. We use a proprietary blend of vaporizal compounds to deliver you directly to your desired state. When I have chosen, it's usually late at night. My focus begins to fade. But with Choose, I'm able to reignite the urgency necessary to continue studying. As an ADHD individual, this is a powerful alternative to prescription drugs, which oftentimes kill your personality and murder your appetite, leaving nothing left, really. So enhance yourself, choose the optimal state. We're looking for investors and mentors to help propel our business. Thanks.
Deep breath. So how much of this exists today?
I haven't ever seen anything like this on the market.
Right. So what have you developed, or is this your idea, or do you actually have a prototype? Do you have an idea?
We have prototype and proof of concept. So.
Got it. And what do you think it's going to take to get it from where you are now to something that would actually be sellable?
Honestly, not much. I think we have a few perhaps delivery consistency things to work out. Maybe some more user feedback, but we're pretty close.
And do you see consumers as being your customer, or do you see dispensers as being your customer? Who's your customer?
I definitely think current consumers would be the customer. I also kind of see it as aimed towards more of like a working professional crowd, not necessarily somebody who can just smoke all day, but it's more tailored to people who have stuff to do. It's not necessarily.
Great, thank you.
Have you seen the Canopy Accelerator?
Yes.
Okay, cool, great, awesome.
Have you ever found yourself throwing away some of your favorite foods from your fridge? Just last night, I was throwing away 3 rotten avocados, and I reached into the depths of my fridge and found some chicken wings I had to throw away. After throwing away, I realized, a lot of people have this issue. And in fact, America wasted more than 33 million tons of food in 2010. That's a value of $165 billion. My name is Joseph, and I have a solution. I want to create a grocery inventory app that allows you to record your groceries the moment you walk out of the grocery store, and also provide a feature that helps notify you when food will expire. Right now, I'm looking for a team of software developers to make this app happen. Together, we could help reduce waste by becoming more fridge friendly.
Joseph, I just saw that data point recently about how much food we throw away. It's insane. You know what would be super cool on top of this application?
What are you thinking?
I'm telling you. Okay, let's say you and me and 3 of our friends all were able to share our fridge-friendly data so that when you had 3 avocados and I was going to make tacos that night and yours were 1 day away from expiration, I could just go to your house and get
We could have a party.
Just this idea of sharing, about taking your food to the highest and best use within a network, a social network, I think would be an amazing add-on to that idea.
Definitely.
Okay, great thought.
What are you thinking about in terms of data input? So, the theory that you're talking about sounds great to me, but the idea of saying, oh, I'm going to do this great job of entering all this data into my app so that I know what I just put into my refrigerator and when I've put it in and how old it is and how many I got and things like that sounds arduous to me. So how are you addressing that?
What I wanted to mention was that I want to
give you the chance.
Yeah. So I'd like to use barcode scanners, right? And to use that information and make it more accessible to create a digital receipt of what you have. So the moment that you scan an item, you'll have a record of it. And from there, you could swipe right for whenever you use it. On top of that, to provide expiration, that expiration dates, that's what we would specialize in. Being able to take the shelf life of an avocado and input that into the app.
So the app would tell you that if your avocado is 6 days old, it's too old.
Yeah, it's time to get rid of it, or time to use it, or time to have a party.
Thank you.
Please raise your hand if you know what this is. Now I'm going to tell you something that you don't know. Participation in organized basketball doubles the next leading sport in the United States. Interesting notion. We all know that sports provide an amazing array of benefits to our children, including a sense of achievement and also academic success. But the fact is that inner city kids don't have the same access to participate. Basketball is the driving force in my life. My dream is to open an all-inclusive gym built on the pillars of basketball, fitness, community, and character development. I'll include a little bit about my model. I want to make it radically affordable so that everybody is welcome into our doors. But I want it to be the best service in town and also the coolest place to go work out so that the people who have money will come. And I want to include adult events on the weekends such as glow basketball and DJ'd parties. So I just want it to be the hippest place in town to go and hang out.
All right, so I want more. So you ran out of time. What's your business model? How are you solving the challenge of making this the coolest, hippest place in town, really high-end capability to bring in people who are willing to spend money, and also then provide services to inner city kids?
I'm going to incentivize community service so kids can come in and bring in their report cards, show that their grades are going up. People can do service. If you're a member at the gym, you're going to be expected, if you're an adult, to mentor a child. Like, I want everybody to want to pitch in. If you're a member of the gym, you can rent out the gym for free to use for private events. I just want it to be a community center where the community truly is invested.
Cool.
Thank you.
Great.
Great.
Thanks.
And I'm looking for help.
It's that sinking feeling as you sit down to take a test you're still not ready for, and you've spent hours studying. There's just not enough time to spend on each subject, and then you have to spend time memorizing all the details right before the test, and it comes down to the wire. But being an engineering student does not need to be this difficult. You could take down your workload significantly and have time to do other things, and dare I say, have a social life. We can show you the light at the end of the tunnel. Brainstem uses videos to provide guided instruction for students as they work through their engineering problems and help them prepare for their tests. Students upload videos as tutors for specific representative problems so that students can practice doing these problems before they see them on the test. We're looking for tutors, developers, and also people who have an experience with product development.
Perfect.
Yeah? Not development, validation.
So Dana, cool idea, and I'm sure you can make the case that this is this in particular, as opposed to other classes, these classes are really, really challenging to get through. One thought I had as you were talking is there's so much conversation right now about how most engineers look alike in this country, for sure. And if you couldn't find an argument that tools like this could broaden the pool of available engineering students because they somehow make engineering more palatable to a broader category of people, I think that would be incredible. And you, as the representative of that argument, would be a perfect person to do it. So I like that. Next, who's your customer?
Our customer is the student. So you would buy a package of videos for either your specific class, your specific course load, or a specific test.
Where's all the content coming from?
Student tutors. So it's the people that are actually in your classes creating the videos, and they get paid either based off of their views in the past or based off of the quality feedback that they're receiving.
Great.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ryan. Factory farming sucks. It really sucks. And it's killing us. It's killing the world. Everybody knows this. I don't have to tell you why. I have an idea to change it. Okay? I want to be the intelligent green Donald Trump. With nice hair. So, that's real. So there's, I want to take land, build tiny houses on it, rent it to people, have a common farm. They'll work on the farm. The tenants work on the farm. They do the labor. They get produce. The excess produce gets sold by the company. So that's it. It's a real estate. No, it's a property management and farm management company and a produce wholesaler. That's it.
So I think in 20 years, this idea is going to be the way that 15% of our population lives. I think that we are really right at the fulcrum where we're going to start to get smart about this. So I love this idea. And if you could build a model that you could actually afford, you could find funding from people who cared enough, not to make money, but make this a social enterprise, but people actually wanted to live there, and that's where your investment was derived. Yeah. And you were able to build a repeatable model, meaning you were paying attention, you were taking notes, you were looking at data, right? So you were getting smarter the longer you did this. I think there are going to be 10 people in 20 years who are going to be the pioneers of this, and it'd be great if you're one.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
My product is a solution to all those of you who had to sit and take long telecons without being able to take a break in between or move around. So most of the times I've had the situation to take a laptop and sit in conference rooms for a long time, not knowing when I'm going to take the next restroom break or not go take a snack break or even go talk to my colleagues saying that the meeting was killing me. So this is where the Talk Anywhere app comes in between. It sits on the laptop, and all you got to have is a mobile that's connected to the Wi-Fi, just as your laptop is. You could, when you want to get out of the conference room, all you got to do is take the app and just swipe the audio from the laptop to the mobile, and it comes instantly onto the mobile. You could talk onto the mobile, and it makes sure that it reaches the other end of the conference. The best part of the app is it works with any application, and all you got to do is come back to the conference room and just swipe the audio back to the laptop, and you've not left the conference, so you've been on it the entire time without losing out on what's going on. So I'm an individual developer, and I'm looking for an entire team. Thank you very much.
You did get the idea that I'm the CEO of a company called Mobile Day, right?
Does it do the mobile audio as well as mic? Okay.
So give me your differentiation. What do you actually have today? Mm-hmm. And the idea that we can take a conference call and do it on a mobile device is obviously something that's ubiquitous. So give me a sense of what's your real differentiation.
Is it uninterrupted?
What do you mean by that?
So let's say when a call is going on, and I do not want to lose out on what's going on with even a minute or so. So I do not know when my role is going to come in and when I'm going to talk. So Talk Anywhere gives you the mobility to take the conference uninterruptedly. So it goes from the laptop to your mobile instantly, and you can just come back to your room and just push it back to your mobile. So it's a problem if you have sat in for a long conference room where you've not been able to leave the conference room without losing out on what's going on. So that's the differentiator.
That's great. So I announced a new thing called Push 4 weeks ago. And what it allows us to do is do one-tap dialing into any conference call and then push that call to any device. And you can do that simultaneously. You do that to multiple devices. So you can do the call from your mobile phone, you can do the call from a laptop, you can do the call from a tablet, et cetera. So I still want to understand what you're doing.
So the best part about Talk Anywhere is it works with any application on the laptop. It does not need to have a separate application. It could work with a Skype conference, it could work with a Hangout conference, and it could work with the Cisco WebEx as well, and your company's proprietary software. So you do not need to go and have a separate app that pushes out to different devices. You could use it for existing apps as well. All you need is a mobile app and a software that runs on your laptop.
You guys should talk at the reception.
Yes.
That's great. We should
Yes.
talk later.
Yes, that's all.
Okay, that was absolutely fantastic. Another quick round of applause for all of the pitchers. So real quick, Sue and Howard are convening on the prizes for the night. I do want to make a few points. We've seen all of these ideas. Every single one of them are great. Some are more developed than others. They all belong in the NVC. We have prizes this year that really cover pretty much every aspect of where you are in your idea. We've got Best Undergraduate Team, Most Improved. We have the Social Impact Prize. We have the Women in Business Prize. We have several prizes that you should be considering as a participant of the NVC. So great ideas, all of them, and definitely a way for them all to get involved and for all of you to get involved in the NVC. On the pitchers, please seek them out in the reception. They have unique name tags with their names and their business ideas on them. I believe they're outlined in gold, so please seek them out. Also, go talk to the mentors who said hi earlier. They're here again because they want to help and they want to meet you. And for those of you here tonight who don't have an idea or are not sure how to get involved yet, talk with every single person. Talk with the mentors, talk with me, talk with the pitchers, talk with the individuals and other participants who didn't get a chance to pitch tonight in particular. So a few quick notes before we get Howard and Sue back up here. The next NVC event is Mentor Matching Night on Tuesday, November 3rd at Galvanize Boulder. This event is specifically geared towards NVC participants and mentors. There's honestly no better way to meet so many amazing mentors in one place than at Mentor Matching Night. So all participants, definitely block your calendars off for that. All mentors, we'd love to have you. It's always great to have everybody there together. Sign-up sheets are outside for mentors and participants. If you leave your name and email, we will follow up with more details. Also, additional details and sign-up can be found on cunvc.org. A few final remarks. Please let your friends know it's not too late to join the NVC. Mentor Matching Night is one of the jewels in the NVC crown, and just because a team or a participant or an individual may have missed tonight doesn't mean that they can't participate moving forward. So please share that with your colleagues and friends. Again, we will have a reception just outside. Please take time to meet the pitchers, the mentors, the judges, and everybody here tonight, including the individuals and participants who didn't get a chance to pitch. So let me see if we're getting close. Doesn't look like we're close yet. I will continue my blabbering up here just for a moment. I do want to thank again our sponsors for tonight: Zayo Group, Perkins Coie, SoftLayer, First Western Trust, Elevations Credit Union, and Marsh Fishman Law. Especially, I'd like to thank Rush Bowls, who is our in-kind sponsor tonight. They've provided food along with the catering in the room next door, which will be available. So keep an eye out for them as well. And without any further ado, I guess they're still not ready yet, so that's okay. Yeah, let me let Sierra up here to save me.
I'm just going to butt in. So, hi, I'm Sierra Moeller. I don't know if you all know me. So we have the Deming Center Venture Fund. It is our graduate level venture fund, and we are proud to announce today that we're loving all of the ideas. We'd love to be able to make an investment in one of your brilliant ideas. So if you do have an idea or you're actually interested in joining the fund, we have applications open right now for graduate students, first-year MBAs, engineering, computer science, any really technical background. If you're interested, come find me afterwards, or Anna, Jeff, or Ashton. All of us are here tonight, and we'd love to hear about your idea and have you join our team. CUMVC.org.
For the Deming Center.
DCB, sorry, I do too many things at once. CUDCBF.org.
She'll be here afterwards as well, so you can connect. And I think we're ready now for Sue Howard to step up and tell us about the prizes.
Cool. I'm going to not talk about the prizes for a second. First of all, this was. There's no prizes. Get that. We just want you guys to stay. This was awesome, considering how many, just so many new ideas and just unbelievable. And you guys are awesome for hanging around and being supportive. I would like every female in the room to stand up. And if you are behind a pillar, I want you to come out. Okay, all the women in the room are standing up. That's fantastic. Now, I would like all the women who are in the room who are connected and allowed to be NVC eligible to stay standing, and everybody, all the other women, sit down. Awesome. Okay, I would like to just say a thought to you guys. This is an incredibly open platform, okay? You can look at your finger and think, I want to make blue nail polish and I'm going to join the NVC. Like, there's not going to be that many platforms in the universe that are as open as this platform. 6.6% of the presenters tonight were women in an incredibly open platform. And dudes, you did an awesome job, and so the women who present. But I want to come back here next year, and I would love to see this ratio be different. So if you're connected to one of these teams, I want you to go home and ask yourself why you didn't pitch. And if you have a reason why you don't have an idea here, because you're all interested in startups, email me at sue@mergelane.com. I want to hear from you, and I want to talk about it. Thank you.
And I would challenge NBC to do a better job of addressing that going forward. Oops, sorry. Oh, it's so often. I don't do it.
Okay.
So, hi guys. Sue's comment was right. This is such a tough thing to do, right? This is the beginning of the process. And normally at the beginning of the process, you're in a small room and you're trying to connect with mentors, right? Instead, they're throwing you all in front of a group of people and having judges critique you, So the fact that you guys did this is just amazing to me. And I think everybody deserves enormous rounds of applause for just phenomenal guts in doing it and the great content that every one of you had. We do have 3 $100 Visa gift cards to give out, one for best pitch, one for best idea, and one for most out-of-the-box idea or pitch. This is totally subjective. The reality is that, if we had 20 people doing the judging, there'd probably be 20 different answers to this. Sue and I know each other really well, and it took us just a couple minutes to agree on all 3, so we have no problem with it. Our best pitch tonight, Jake Horowitz, could you please come up from outside?
That was awesome.
Great job. Let me say again, this is very subjective. I have a bunch of biases. Sue's got a bunch of biases. They picked us to be the judges tonight, so too bad, guys, it's our biases. The best idea. Chelsea Cook, High Tech Solutions.
That's the beginning of your friends and family round. Right there. It's awesome.
And I'm not going to even make any jokes or comments on this. Most out-of-the-box idea pitch, structured nanosystems, Joseph Bratt.
Good. Good.
All right, a few quick remarks before we break for the reception. Thank you to Sue and Howard for doing an amazing job tonight. Their insight, their humor, everything about it was magnificent. Thank you, guys. A thank you to our initial speakers, Nancy Stevens with First Western Trust and Brian Kinnear with Perkins Coie. Also to our volunteers tonight, there are a lot of them. They really kept this machine running. I'm always the one who breaks the machine, so thank you very much to the volunteers. And then, of course, to the innovative, passionate, and gutsy pitchers who came out tonight. You made this event. Thank you very much. And to the audience as well for being great sports. Thank you, and we'll see you at the reception. That's it.